Have you ever thought about the world without sports? Who would you cheer for? Would Sunday afternoon be different with no NFL to keep you entertained? The following presentation is about the lockout and their effect on sports. As an avid sports fan, life would be weird without sports. The sports market is one of the largest industries in the world, with $120 billion in revenue. Could you take something that you do every day and just remove it from your life? How would you adjust? Athletes have to deal with these issues when their owners lock them out. As a sports fan, you either side with the owner's side or the players' union during a lockout. Professional athletes are at a disadvantage to their owners. Therefore, I feel players should have the right to higher pay. When athletes and owners engage in negotiations, the athletes sometimes end up saying, "Without the players, you can't play the games." To which the owners reply, "You're right, so we're not going to play any games." That's what causes a lockout. Unfortunately, the owners always have the advantage over the players. Every player to ever play the game, regardless of how talented or popular, will eventually become too old or too beat up to play. No owner ever becomes too old to own. There are many more people than the owners, fans, and players that are affected. People such as the parking attendants, food vendors, stadium ushers, and even beer companies are all affected by lockouts. The next segment I did was an interview with one of my good friends and former Michigan Tech hockey player, Alex McLeod. I wanted to get the player's perspective on a lockout. He is currently playing semi-pro hockey for the Columbus Cottonmouths. As a hockey player, what are your thoughts on the lockout?
Part of me agrees with it because as a hockey player, your time to earn income is very short. On the other hand, it's millionaires fighting billionaires over money, pretty much. So on one hand, you gotta agree with it because they're fighting for what's right for them. On the other hand, it kind of affects the whole game, and it's not good to see.
How has the lockout affected your playing career?
For me personally, it's bumped me down a league below where I thought I would have started this season, which is unfortunate.
Alright. How would your life be different if the season wasn't in a lockout?
Well, I'd like to think that I would have, where I started this season in South Carolina, I would still be there. I would like to think that. I think that obviously there's more opportunity moving up from from the East Coast Hockey League to the American Hockey League because there's just more players that are playing. When there's more guys playing, there's bound injuries and teams run into trouble, run into skids, and have to make changes. So.
Okay. And do you think lockouts in sports are good for the players to work towards higher pay?
The players don't necessarily. In this case, the lockout isn't for higher pay. The lockout is to keep what they were offered. I guess you could say,
Right.
Pretty much right now the battle is over. The players signed contracts, and the owners want to take contracts and then reduce them by 25%. So, obviously, overall, it's always about money, which is, it's unfortunate. It's a game that millions of people like to watch. But, in the end, if you're just a regular guy, if you're working, if you're engineering, you're working at a company, and you sign a contract with them for $50,000, and they come back to you 2 months into the contract, say, actually, we're only going to pay you $40,000 this year. How are you going to feel about that? So that's a bit of the problem. That's the problem that's going on right now.
All right. To conclude my presentation, here's a couple fan-made videos on their view of the current NHL lockout.
The owners are not prepared to operate under this collective bargaining agreement for another seasons. Time is getting short. We obviously have a wide gap to bridge.
The gap between those two visions is about $1.3 billion.
And coming up only to show you roll.
Is it enough money to cause a lockout? Unless that gap gets bridged, I would say yes.
And to know you is hard, and we wonder.
Now we're apart, though not through choice. Do we stay mute or raise our voice? Now we're apart, though not through choice. Do we stay mute or raise
Billions of dollars are at stake, and so is the entire upcoming season of the NHL. It's all about money. The league generated record revenue last season, $3.3 billion, and now the team owners want a bigger share of the pie, leaving the players with less. Today, some of hockey's biggest stars showed up to turn up the heat, all of it leaving fans wondering when and if the players will take to the ice.